Hello and welcome to your natal chart reading. What we are going to get into today is this compass blueprint pie chart kind of thing. I never know really what to call it. But this is a representation of your life as the person that you are currently. You have been many different people, genders, races, religions throughout time with your soul's goal of developing big soul points so that you can go wherever you want to in the galaxy and learn other things. So these black dots in here are representative of the planets and asteroids and how how the sky was lined up at the time that you were born. If you would imagine for a second that your body is a radio receiver, and at the time that you took your first breath into your baby body, these energies entered with the goal of creating a magnetic force that would pull you along your path. So what is your path? For that, we look at your ascendant. You are taking the path of partnership. You are learning how to be balanced, mutuality. This could be a horse lover, a painter, an artist, a writer, somebody into literature, a politician, somebody who's just really into helping the underdog and bringing balance into your own life and that of others. On this path, you have a backlight and a forward light. The backlight shows you where you're coming from, which for you is being the leader of a group. And the front light showed you where you're going, which is over here, which is becoming a part of a group of creative people where you sort of put your work online. So they really work together. With this sort of thing here, I'd imagine that you'd have your own creation that you'd put out into the world, and then you'd find your tribe that you belong to that will really appreciate what you have to offer. And these will lead you to the partnership that you are seeking. So let's get started on the breakdown of how this is meant to come together. With this first house, the house of self, the identity, who you are in Libra. First of all, this makes you beautiful. This gives you class and poise, and things that people first notice about you are your elegance, because that's what this first house is about. The way that you appear to other people, the mask you wear to the world, and what your identity is, what the sleeve you're wearing this life is. With you having Lilith right here in the first, this means that the first thing people notice about you is possibly that you might be bougie, if you will, or that you're somebody who's willing to fight on behalf of the underdog. You're very diplomatic and your words are your strength. This is also where your part of fortune, your luck is. Something about you and who you are is just very magnetic. But underneath that is this layer of secrecy, the psychologist, the counselor, the detective. And this Scorpio energy of the brainiac leads to your second house of your natural gifts that you have in order to create currency for yourself, to make an income for yourself, and to create the life you value. With you having Pluto and Scorpio in the second, this gives you sexual magnetism. But also, on a more earthly level, I guess, you have the ability to know what other people are thinking. I don't think that's earthly, that's actually rather spiritual. But you understand the way other people's psyches work. You understand other people's sexual kinks. You also be really good at understanding the stock market, real estate, anything to do with homes and investment and debt and magic would just be areas that you were really able to flip and make a career for yourself, because you're able to take all of the shady things you went through in life, any abuse or poverty or trauma, and turn those into a belief system, a way that you inspire others. This is noted because the Sagittarius energy of philosophy leads not only in your second house, but to your third house, the way that you connect to the people around you in the area that you grew up in, and especially if you have siblings. You are the philosopher. You are the one that was able to overcome things, and you're now able to share your wealth with other people. This is backed up by the fact that this Capricorn energy of how you're meant to create money for yourself, what your legacy is also in your third house. Your communication is a part of what is going to last long beyond this life for you. Uranus is the planet of radical change, which means that your strength, your special twist in life is the way that you speak, the things that you say, and the fact that you're able to use that in your business. This is karmic for you because Neptune is here. So you have a business in healing or helping other people with their mind, body, soul, fitness, nutrition, or just helping them get together their lives with the words that you say. Now, your IC, which represents who you are when nobody else around, is the Capricorn. This is the person who is all about the bag, trying to get their money. And for you, you having a business at home has actually been getting put together over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. There was a restriction on this for you until around the time you turned 27, 28, but you were meant to have a business from home that you put online. This is the fourth house of family, your foundation, your root. And for you, you may have grew up with a family business or with a strict family, radical family, maybe even a family of geniuses, just quirky, out of the box, a very different family home setup. But this is also representative of what your family will be like in the future. You will be working at home. You're probably working at home now, but that's going to turn to you being on the internet, because this Aquarius energy of technology and connecting to your soul tribe and the internet goes to the fifth house. The fifth house is where your north node is, what you came to do. This is about connecting to your soul tribe with your own special, unique creativity, your own addition to the group. This is backed up by this Pisces here. Are you a singer? Are you somebody who is able to use spiritual things to convey a message? All of your inspiration and the thoughts that come through you are a part of your unique expression, the way that you connect to children and what you do for fun. So this will be about music, art, dance, photography, film, poetry, just anything that allows you to escape a little bit from the world. And allows you to share what you do to escape with other people so they can do that as well. Because this Pisces energy goes to the sixth house, which means that you came here to be of service in a way that sort of puts yourself on the back burner so that you can understand other people's needs. The sixth house is about day-to-day activity and actually what it takes for you to balance out the energy of your karma. With you having this Pisces here, you need to meditate every day or do something spiritual or even be near water. Now, this Aries over here, where your unique genius is known as the Palace, I think I'm saying that right, asteroid, is in Aries. This means you would be really good with physical activities, being a pioneer, somebody who gets out there in the world on a day-to-day basis and just like you need to be out of the house. You're probably somebody who needs to run even possibly, or that you have to deal with some sort of physical ailment on a day-to-day basis as well that you have to overcome that really makes a difference for you. And this could also be related to your marriage, because it appears that this seventh house of marriage for you, you have a karmic marriage that was meant to happen for you. I don't know if that's already happened. You can let me know. But if not, there is a karmic marriage that is due to you, one that is sort of a luxurious nature, so to speak. This is somebody who is going to spoil you and take care of you, because for a very long time you have been your own partner, and that's the way this is set up. You would be your own partner until the one came along. Um, and even possibly you could be married twice based upon this, because you have planets in your seventh house of marriage and your ninth house, which is all about being in foreign lands, but also it could be a marriage, but there's definitely a karmic one that was meant to be happening. And if that karmic one did not survive, there was a backup, because you are deeply learning about partnership no matter how many times it takes. So this Taurus energy of peace and taking your time to do things extends to your eighth house. This is all about the way that you appreciate sex, your intimate relationships, the stock market, real estate, taxes, black magic, life and death transformations. For you, this is where your mind is at. There's something about trauma and just the way, or the darker things in life that your mind understands, although it sort of feels them inside, because this retrograde here means all your thoughts are inside and you could possibly suffer from anxiety. But you have found a way to deal with the darker subjects of life and sort of put a learning spin on them, so to speak. You'd be really good at banking also. You have some Gemini here in the eighth house as well, which means that if you learned about any of these topics, you'd be able to turn this into pretty much a gold mine for yourself if you got in the stock market or anything like that. This is also backed up by the fact that this Gemini energy of this teacher, the student, the writer, the great thinker is where your sun is. So your mind naturally thinks about things. Jupiter is all about expansion and luck. The moon is about your emotional state. Venus is about where you would best earn your money, and Chiron is your rule. They are all in your ninth house, which means that you need to move at least 2 hours away from where you came from so that you can really develop and learn what you need to become the philosopher that you sort of were meant to be. The way that you think is meant to be about religion, higher education, maybe educating people on things they didn't know about foreign lands and foreign travel, because you are inherently for the underdog. Something about your childhood or things that happened in your childhood, a lack of care, um, and the fulfillment that you are seeking is what you are going to put out through your work. This is known because your MC, which is your idea of heaven on earth, but the beginning of your career house is in Cancer. This means that you'll be known for your family. You'll be known for your work with homes, possibly, even if you do real estate or stock market. I keep saying stock market, real estate or architecture or anything like that. or you'll work with women or children or families, because that's where your drive is. Your passion is behind making a difference in families and caring for others. This is also important to note that you have some Leo over here, which means that you're meant to work with children, or you can be inspiring or entertaining or performing, or once again in politics, because this is somebody who is really good at speaking and you're speaking to a specific group. Because this energy here, this South Node, means you're meant to accomplish this before you're able to get over here to joining your tribe. You're meant to be a leader. Like once you put out your communication into the world and you start freely speaking on the internet, finding your tribe, putting yourself out there as a healer, as somebody who is an organizer, somebody that's helping other people get their lives together, you will move more towards this path of your evolution uh, by reaching out to other people. I deeply feel that a lot of this says that you would be really good with children. But this Virgo energy of the healer here means you belong to a group of healers as well as a group of creative people. Now, this last house here is the 12th house, the house of everything that's left over. Now, you don't have any planets here, which means there's no heavy karma. But the energy of the Virgo means that sometimes you can be an over perfectionist. You can overthink. But you do best in solitude if you get out your words. Maybe doing something like what I'm doing right now, like a voiceover or a video diary, just to get your thoughts out. But also don't give too much of yourself in a partnership. With this energy here, these are things that could be your self-undoing. This is the house of things that you don't notice that other people might notice. You thinking too much or you needing to be in a relationship sometimes could be that. Just because parts of you probably feel like you need a partner to bring your chart together for the rest of this to come together, which could be the case. But never forget, part of you is your own partner. And until the other one comes along, you were able to pull this off because you are inherently healing your own childhood wounds. So let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for this opportunity, ma'am.